Recording in
I don't know
progress.
if it's Miss Bosky. Let me try to call her. It's not Miss Bosky, but she said she could jump on. Miss Lewis, do you want her to jump on? Miss Lewis is reaching out to her, but Miss Bosky said she can jump on if she needs to. Let's see.
Judge, it's supposed to be Tiffany Jones, so they're reaching out right now.
Yeah, that's what Miss Lewis just said, but Miss Bosky said she could jump on if she needed to. I don't have Miss Jones' number, do you?
I don't, Judge. Let me just ask her real quick.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're just waiting on our court reporter here. Yeah.
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Chavez, can you tell Rafael Pena, QUI, turn his camera on?
Señor Rafael Peña Quijano, por favor, ¿puede usted encender la cámara?
There he is. All right, I'm going to hear this bond modification before we go to the rest. So it's 20.
Yes.
I'm going to mute him because he really doesn't need to talk right now. So it's 23 CP 221786.
Esta es una modificación de fianza, el número de caso 23 CP 221786.
Rafael Peña Quijano, is that it?
Rafael Peña Quijano.
It's a hit and run and fatal based stop sign.
Abandono de un accidente y no obedeció a una señalización de alto.
Ms. Jackson, anything I need to know?
Antecedentes penales, señora Jackson, ¿hay algo que yo necesite saber?
No, Your Honor. He just has one prior arrest. That was June the 1st, 2018, in Gwinnett County for driving.
I didn't hear the last part. Ms. Jackson, driving
Without a valid license.
Okay. No, su señoría, él solo tiene un antecedente previo, el 1 de junio del 2018 en el condado de Gwinnett por conducir sin una licencia válida.
All right, go ahead,
There
Mr.
was
Bennett.
no disposition.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pena Quijano was arrested, turned himself in at the Fulton County Jail after learning of these warrants on
Hold on, wait, give her time to.
Su abogado está diciendo de que usted fue arrestado después de que usted mismo se presentó a la cárcel después de haber sabido tener información de estos cargos.
That occurred on September 13th, 2003, and he was granted a bond in the amount of $100,000.
Eso sucedió el 13 de junio del 2003 y se le otorgó una fianza de $100,000.
Although the bond did not require any particular level of pretrial supervision, special conditions included an ankle monitor,
Aunque no necesitaba condiciones especiales de la oficina de pretrial, requería que usted tuviera un grillete que lo monitoreara.
and a 24-hour curfew.
Y también que estuviera arresto domiciliario de 24 horas.
There may be some additional facts about Mr. Pena Quijano that were not made aware to the magistrate judge at the time of the first appearance.
Tal vez había situaciones extras de mientras estaba ante el magistrado que no se dejaron saber.
Aside from his lack of criminal history, he has lived here in the state of Georgia for 20 years.
Además de no tener antecedentes penales, él ha vivido en Georgia en los últimos 20 años.
He worked in construction but has some physical infirmities and now primarily recycles construction equipment, which requires travel.
What's the trouble?
He travels to recycle construction equipment from various work sites.
Su trabajo principal es construcción, pero ahora por ciertas enfermedades lo que hace es que recicla equipo de construcción y viaja por ello.
He does live in the United States legally. He has a work permit.
Él vive legalmente en los Estados Unidos, tiene un permiso de trabajo.
He also has a valid Georgia driver's license at this time.
Y en este momento él tiene una licencia de conducir válida.
Based on that information, Your Honor, we would submit that he is not a flight risk and a danger to the community, and the ankle monitor condition is not necessary in his particular case based on his history and characteristics.
Señora, su señoría, basado con esta información, vemos que él no está en riesgo de huir, que él no es peligro para la comunidad y que el grillete en el tobillo ya no es necesario.
The last thing I'll say about his case, Your Honor, is there was never any contact between his vehicle and the vehicle that was involved in the accident.
Y lo último que quisiera decir, su señoría, es de que nunca hubo un contacto con el vehículo de él y el vehículo del otro accidente.
He essentially pulled out in front of a motorcycle, which we contend was speeding in excess of the limits.
Can you please repeat that, Ms. Bennett, Mr. Bennett?
Yes, ma'am. He pulled out in front of a motorcycle, and the driver of the motorcycle had to lay the bike down.
So, él se puso enfrente a una motocicleta que iba a alta velocidad.
Based on my interview with Mr. Pena Quijano, we believe that the evidence will ultimately show that the motorcycle was speeding in excess of the maximum limits.
Basado con la información que yo he recibido y la conversación con el señor Peña Quijano, la evidencia va a mostrar de que la motocicleta iba más allá de alta velocidad, más allá de los límites.
The gravamen in my argument, Judge, is that he's not a danger for not showing up in court or to the community, so we request that condition be modified.
También otra vez quisiera mencionar de que él no está en peligro de no presentarse en las audiencias y él no es peligro para la comunidad y eso tiene que ser modificado en la fianza.
And we appreciate the opportunity to come before the court and make this request this afternoon.
Y apreciamos la oportunidad que se nos da de venir ante usted para presentar nuestro caso.
Mr. Powers, anything as far as the condition of the alleged victim?
Señor Powers, acerca de la condición de condiciones acerca de la supuesta víctima.
Judge, this is not my case. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if there's anyone else here from
Ese
my
no es mi
office.
caso, su señoría.
You're it from the state.
Usted es el que está representando a la fiscalía.
Who's supposed to be on tonight? Do you know?
I don't know, Judge. Hold on, let me see what I can find out. Looks like it's supposed to be Mr. Tom White. So I'm going to try to figure out where he is.
Let's see. We have the Miss Rivera.
I'm here, Judge.
Have you had any contact with this alleged victim?
And hold on. And give me the case number.
23 CP 221 786.
All right.
Four north, booth 2. Four north. Yeah. Stop playing with your hair. Stop playing with your hair. Everybody stop playing with your hair.
There's no information on the victim. There was no contact information on the victim, no phone number.
Okay.
I found a phone number on Google. I think it's the same guy, for what it's worth.
All right.
I'll provide that to the state. This investigation was done by Sandy Springs PD, also for what it's worth.
Están diciendo de que no hay información acerca de la víctima. Su abogado dice que encontraron un número de teléfono en Google y esta investigación se hizo por la policía de Sandy Springs.
Can you provide me the phone number, please?
You could probably put it in the chat. That's probably the best instead of you send it where it says Riviera. If you send it to her instead of like broadcasting it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks. Let's see, I just text Mr. White too, Mr. Powers. I don't know. Are you texting him too?
I am, and I have someone else from my office also reaching out to him. So if he's near his phone, he's going to know what's going on.
And I can send Mr. Powers my notes as well.
Thank you.
just went to his voicemail. Well, let's see, Mr. Powers, if your guy's here, we can at least do one. Let's see, which case it is for.
I was here for Mr. Fisher.
Let's see. So he's only been in like 12 or so days.
Your Honor, I believe that motion was filed to set a bond. He was released and then rearrested on new charges. I think there's a note on the calendar.
Judge, that was the one that you said to remove from the calendar because of that.
Yeah, and he'd only been in like a little while. They revoke his bond on this one?
I think originally when he was on the calendar, he was not in custody at the time of the motion, but he had been rearrested on new charges. And that's why he's only been in a little time. That's why you said we're gonna put him back on the calendar later.
Yeah, we're gonna put him back on a little later when he's in closer to 90 days. Is Mr. Smith here? I don't even see his.
I sent him an email based
Okay.
on what you said. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get him closer to 90 days because he hasn't even been in on this one that long.
And that makes sense to me, Judge, but that was the only reason I was here. So if it weren't for that, we wouldn't have anybody here right now. I'm
Right.
sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Looks like he's been in for like 20 days, so we'll set it back out so it's closer to his 90-day time. But well, Mr. Malkins, I don't think I have Malkins' number. Maybe I do.
and so I'm still trying to learn as I'm going here.
All right, hold on a second. Let's see. This is. All right, hold on. He's one of the ankle monitor removed, and Mr. Bennett, when did he even postpone?
Your Honor, that would have been September 15th of 2023. He did turn himself in at the Fulton County Jail, I believe September 13th, and he was released on the 15th.
All right, let's see. So he's got hit and run fatal base stop sign. This is he operated a 2006 Chevrolet Silverado, which was involved in an accident, resulted in serious injury or death. Accused failed to stop and yield the right of way before entering the roadway. This caused a crash, which motorcycle was hit, said accused vehicle. He did remain at the scene of the accident. Let's see. He did fail to remain at the scene of the accident, render assistance, or provide information required by law. The guy sustained serious injuries such as a brain bleed, multiple facial fractures, a pelvic fracture, major damage to his eyes, which may result in the loss of vision and other injuries. It says while driving south on Pride Place, he got to a stop sign, began to turn left onto Roberts Drive. By doing so, accused did not yield the right of way to the traffic on Roberts Drive, which does not have a stop sign at Pride Place. He caused immediate hazard to a motorcycle that was traveling west on Roberts Drive. The motorcycle crashed into said accused vehicle and trailer. For a witness, the accused stopped, got out of the vehicle, approached the victim who was face down in the roadway. Said accused then turned around, got back into the suspect vehicle, and fled the scene traveling east on Roberts Drive. The victim, Candido Sanchez Velaz, sustained serious injuries such as a brain bleed, multiple fracture, facial fractures, pelvic fracture, major damage to his eyes, which resulted in loss of vision. Said accused was seen driving the vehicle on traffic cameras 49 minutes before the crash. He's also seen driving the vehicle 48 minutes after the crash at Fulton Metals Recycling. At this location, accused presented his Georgia driver's license and is captured on multiple cameras. Staff also advised accused was the only occupant of the suspect vehicle. Said accused was contacted by phone. He admitted to driving the vehicle at the time of the crash. He also said he saw a crash with a motorcycle happened at a location. When asked further details about what happened, he refused to answer questions. He also set a time to meet and give a statement, but did not show up.
Well, as for the not showing up part, Judge, that was our legal advice at that time. So,
Right, but yeah, I mean, I get that. Just kind of, I was just reading what was on there. And he wants the ankle monitor removed.
that's it, Judge. That's all we're asking for.
And
Again,
Judge, I assume there is a condition for no driving. I think that condition stays in place considering the recent changes to the ankle monitor. I don't believe it.
His ankle monitor can, I mean, anybody who's on ankle monitor now, that's paid for. It's any new ones.
I personally, Judge, on behalf of the state, I think that is reasonable at this point. He did turn himself in. As long as he has a condition of no driving, I think that having the ankle monitor removed is fine.
Well, he said that's when he makes a living, going to recycling things.
And then that's something we wouldn't be okay with.
well, he can always get a ride somewhere else. I mean, if the condition is no driving, I'll make sure he understands he's not permitted to drive here in the Tennessee this case. He's got plenty of folks he works with that can shuttle him around. That's no problem at all.
I'm only a little hesitant because I don't know of the condition of the alleged victim. I mean, is he still in the hospital? Is he not in the hospital? Do you have any idea, Mr. Bennett?
No, I'm sorry, Judge, and I actually provided the incorrect name to the state. It's that was a witness. That I've got a partial report here, but unfortunately, I don't have any information about this individual. I do have an address for him, which I can also provide to the state. There doesn't appear to be a number for this individual. Oh, wait, there is a phone number. I just found it. 1 second, let me provide that and see whether there's any way the state can get in touch with him.
Yeah, if you can provide that to me, and I'll see if I can get in touch with him right now.
All right, done.
If you provide her, she'll try to call real quick. Ms. Chavez, we'll come right back to you.
Señor, ya van a regresar a su caso. Están tratando de contactar a la víctima.
We'll get rid of a couple of these. Ms. Lewis, is ACDC wanting to go first or what?
Judge, if we could do Kyle first and then AC.
All right. Malik Embry. Wave your hand if you're Malik Embry. All right, it's position 5. Mr. Bastine here.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right. C23 CP 217688. Malik Trevor Embry, 214 days without indictment, $140,000 good bond as of September the 5th, 2023. Trafficking in cocaine, marijuana, or methamphetamines, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of Schedule 4 controlled substance, possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance, possession of Schedule 2 controlled substance. Alleged 100 grams of oxy, 330 grams of Xanax, 8 grams of MDMA, and 6,930 grams of marijuana. Rah.
He has no priors, Your Honor. Nothing in addition.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Bastine.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Malik, he's found himself in this situation, Your Honor. I mean, and it wasn't his house, and he's got really good. He's very young, 19-year-old male. He's got a 2-year-old, Nazia Pierce, and his girlfriend, Miss Pierce, is pretty much involved in the picture, and it's his first time. He finished the 11th grade. He's working on getting his GED. He has a good address. We believe that when all the facts come out, it will show that Mr. Embry really is not that type of person, and he just happens to be in that place. Not that he didn't know the others, but with the $140,000 bond, there's just no way that he could make that. And for someone that's not an habitual, it's just extremely high. So we asked for a reasonable bond for him, Your Honor.
Oh gosh, we still don't have a DA here. Dang it.
Judge, I can step in and do this when I've been reading along with the warrant.
All right, hold on. Here's Mr. Malkin. Mr. Malkin's here now. Dang it. Sorry, I just got ahead of myself.
Well, I would of course defer to Mr. Malcolm.
Oh, he's connecting to audio. Sorry, Miss Jackson, I have to make you say pretrial again for him. Totally slipped my mind that we didn't have anybody here. So much for finishing quickly tonight.
Judge, on that one case, I called the victim, but I left a detailed message in Spanish and English for a callback.
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Malkin, thanks for jumping on. Oh, you're still on mute. Oh, you're still on mute.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Thank you so much. I think it wasn't your night, was it?
No, my night is coming up on Thursday, and so I'm not sure whose night it was, but I got a call from George Jenkins sending out the SOS flag. So here I am.
All right. I don't know. Are you at work? You have Odyssey pulled up?
I am in the process. I'm not at home. I'm in the process of pulling it up.
All right. I could go ahead and just repeat the first one. I've got Malik Embry, 23 CP 217688. It's number 5. He's got $140,000 good bond as of September the 15th. Trafficking in cocaine, illegal drugs, marijuana, and methamphetamines. Possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of a felony. Possession of Control 4 controlled substance. Possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance. Possession of Schedule 2 controlled substance. It's alleged 100 grams of oxy, 330 grams of Xanax, 8 grams of MDMA, and 6,930 grams of marijuana. Miss Jackson, one more time for Mr. Malcolm. Preach. Rah.
He has no prior arrest on file. Nothing in addition.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Pastine, so that Mr. Malcolm can hear you.
Yes. So on this one, an Atlanta person. He was born in Atlanta Medical. He's got ties here. He has a 2-year-old, Vizia Pierce. Viana Pierce, she's in the picture, and they're waiting for him. They try to have him to support them. He has never been in trouble. It's one of these situations that when all the evidence comes out, they will see that he's definitely not the leader of this. He happens to be in that situation there, and but at this point, this is not the type of person that's going to that's a flight risk, and that we need to set 140,000 bond for him. I mean, that's just something that he cannot make. He doesn't have those ties, and we ask for a much more reasonable bond to be set for him.
And is he going to live in Fulton County?
Yes, he is. At 520 AMAL Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30315.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
Your Honor, we would ask for a $100,000 bond for this person. He had quite an extensive array of illegal drugs and does pose a danger to the community. Thank you.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. He's going to have an ankle monitor, but he's going to pay for it with that 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as he provides the name of his employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location he'll be working. No further contact with his co-defendants. Kennard, last name Barnett, Barnette, Lamar Robert Goodman, and then Jair of the Embry. So I guess that must be a relative of him. Well, you can't have any contact with him. Embry. No further contact with any gang members, any affiliates of any gang. Stay away from 178 Maury, Moury Avenue Southeast, apartment 3928 in Atlanta, Georgia. Right now we'll do 80, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, and 5,000. 80, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. And when he gets a prelim, I'll address it again to there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Y'all can both leave. Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. What about? All right. So, Mr. Malkin, what we've had here is we have Miss Chavez. Where's Miss Chavez? Miss Chavez. So we had on the add-on, it's Rafael Pena Fujano. It's a hit and run with serious injury and a failure to obey a stop sign. There has been no victim contact so far. It's his only arrest. And Mr. Bennett is asking that the ankle monitor be removed.
Is that a county-paid ankle monitor?
Yeah, the county's still paying for them. As long as they're on it, the county's paying for it. They're just not paying for any new ones.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
He turned himself in and he got out September the 15th, Mr. Bennett, of this year, did you say?
That's correct, Your Honor. That's what I got on the release paperwork.
All right. We would be opposed to having the ankle monitor removed just 2 months after he got on it. We might not be opposed one day in the future, maybe in a few more months, but we'd be opposed right now.
Mr. Bennett, I don't want you to have to file another one until we get some, but do you want us to just continue this to like January?
That would be fine, Judge, if
right.
we're not inclined at this moment.
Okay. We can reset it till January, and that would, I'm sorry, Ms. Chavez, we'll reset it till January, and that'll give the victim's advocate time to see if they can get in touch with the alleged victim.
Señor, el fiscal supone que se le quite el grillete del tobillo. La juez está diciéndole a ese abogado que va a posponer su audiencia para en enero para que usted pueda volver a solicitar. El fiscal está diciendo que es muy poco tiempo que tiene el grillete para removérselo. La juez quiere posponer la audiencia para enero. De esa manera, la persona que está encargada de las víctimas puede comunicarse con la víctima.
Well, he turned his camera off, so I'm hoping he heard you.
Espero que haya escuchado, señor, porque su cámara está apagada. Señor Quijano.
We've been having some difficulties with the fiber optics here at the office. He's right down the hall from me. I'll make sure he understands where we're at in this case, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, that'll be closer to, so, and by then it should give them time to talk with the alleged victim, okay?
That's understood, Your
Yeah.
Honor. And I did provide the number that I have from the police report to the victim advocate this afternoon. I want to make sure Mr. Malkin's aware of that.
All right, so, Ms. Robinson, you just sent it out sometime in January?
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor,
Alright.
would you like me to repeat or?
Sure, just send, we'll, send another date out in January.
Señor, el fiscal se opone a que se le quite el grillete porque ha sido muy poco tiempo que lo ha tenido, así que le van a posponer su audiencia para enero para volverlo a considerar. Además, ese tiempo lo van a utilizar para comunicarse con la víctima.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well, Your Honor.
Eso es todo. Can you
Thank you, Ms. Chavez.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You too.
Evening.
What about Kevin Parker? Wave your hand if you're Kevin Parker. Nope. All right, Ernest Williams. All right, Ms. Rondon.
Good
Yes.
evening, Judge. I'm going to waive sounding of everything for Mr. Williams.
Okay, so it's 23 CP 215407, not just on this case and other cases, though. It's 495 days without indictment. Has any of his cases been indicted, Ms. Rondon?
No, Judge, they haven't.
Okay, it's a $800,000 good bond, 1, 2, 3, 4 CWAC cases. Rah!
Yes, 19 cycles. The last arrest was May the 12th, 2015 in Fulton County for theft by deception, 2 counts. And that charge was null pros on February the 1st, 2016. He does appear to have an outstanding hold out of McDonough, Georgia for larceny. The date on that warrant was February the 19th, 2019. He has prior felony convictions. One in 2006 out of Cobb County for theft by taking and armed robbery and theft by receiving stolen property. One in 2005 out of Kentucky for bank fraud, and one in 2005 out of Cobb County for false statements or writings. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Rondon.
Yes, Your Honor. As stated, Mr. Williams does have a $200,000 bond on these
800.
charges. So I was really not in question here. He does, since he has already been granted a bond, he is entitled to a bond. And really the issue here is that the $800,000 total, because it's $200,000 per charge, is basically tantamount to no bond. Mr. Williams has been in custody for 495 days. And this case does originate out of the incident that did put him in jail 495 days ago. I would ask for his bond to be significantly reduced. And I would ask for that bond not to exceed $50,000 total. Mr. Williams is looking forward to his day in court. He is presumed innocent of all charges, and the bond as currently situated is basically tantamount to no bond.
You represent him in all his cases?
I have 5 of his cases, and Krell Lewis has, I believe, the other 2.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, go ahead, Mr. Malkin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Ms. Rondon. It looks like, so he's got 7 cases, if I'm understanding correctly, open with very serious charges, and I believe I heard that he had an armed robbery conviction as well. So, not lowering his bond at all would not be unreasonable, given the danger that he poses to the victims, to the community, risk of reoffending, having all these cases open at once. I'm going to ask that the bond remain the same.
All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. So, you don't have private counsel, so we'll take off ankle monitor, but you'll still have 24-hour curfew. Does he have an address where he'll be living?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it in Fulton? Do you know?
I do believe it's in Fulton County.
Is it in Fulton County, sir? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay. All right. No social media, no internet usage, no further contact with anyone under the age of 18. Cannot leave Fulton County, and you must surrender your passport to your lawyer. I know that was on there previously, Ms. Rhonda, before you. Do you have a way to secure his passport?
Yeah, we can make that happen.
All right, you have to surrender your passport to Miss Rondon. I know if you have Carol Lewis, you have to surrender them to one of them, and then they can talk between each other and make sure. Also, if for some reason I think it's because the thing, no further contact with any animals. 175,000 on each count, and I'm going to email the DA and let her know and remind her about all 5, 6, 7 of these cases, Miss Rondon.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
And Your Honor, that was my only matter tonight. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, Kevin Parker.
Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Okay, guys. Well, that's that. Let me get your thoughts because we got other matters we have to deal with today. So it looks like he got. Did she say 100,000? As it was 200,000 per count. So did she say 100,000 per count? Or was it 100,000? You said she reduced it by 175. So she took off 100. Okay, now we all confused. Y'all gonna make me have to go back and look at it again. Wait a minute. Let me go back. Hold on.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol.
Hold on.
That charge was not processed on February the 1st, 2016.
Let's review this again.
He does appear to have an outstanding hold out of McDonough, Georgia for larceny. The date on that warrant was February the 19th, 2019. And he has prior felony convictions. This one in 2006 out of Cobb County for theft by taking and armed robbery and theft by receiving stolen property. This one in 2005 out of Kentucky for bank fraud. And one in 2005 out of Cobb County for false statements or writings. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Rondon.
Yes, Your Honor. As stated, Mr. Williams does have a $200,000 bond on these charges. So I was really not in question here. He does, since he has already been granted a bond, he is entitled to a bond. And really the issue here is that the $800,000 total, because it's $200,000 per charge, is basically tantamount to no bond. Mr. Williams has been in custody for 495 days. And this case does originate out of the incident that did put him in jail 495 days ago. I would ask for his bond to be significantly reduced. And I would ask for that bond not to exceed $50,000 total. Mr. Williams is looking forward to his day in court. He is presumed innocent of all charges, and the bond as currently situated is basically tantamount to no bond.
You represent him in all his cases?
I have 5 of his cases, and Carol Lewis has, I believe, the other 2.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, go ahead, Mr. Malkin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Ms. Rondon. It looks like so he's got 7 cases, if I'm understanding correctly, open with very serious charges, and I believe I heard that he had an armed robbery conviction as well. So, not lowering his bond
This
at all
mic is horrible.
would not be unreasonable, given the danger that he poses to the victims, to the community, risk of reoffending, having all these cases open at once. I'm going to ask that the bond remain the same.
All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. So, you don't have private counsel, so we'll take off the ankle monitor, but you'll still have it's 44-hour curfew. Does he have an address where he'll be living?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it in Fulton? Do you know?
I do believe it's in Fulton County.
Is it in Fulton County, sir? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay. All right, no social media, no internet usage, no further contact with anyone under the age of 18. Cannot leave Fulton County, and you must surrender your passport to your lawyer. I know that was on there previously, Miss Rhonda, before you. Do you have a way to secure his passport?
Yeah, we can make that happen.
All right, you have to surrender your passport to Miss Rhonda. I know if you have Carl Lewis, you have to surrender them to one of them, and then they can talk between each other and make sure. Also, if for some reason I think it's because the thing, no further contact with any animals. 175,000 on each count, and I'm going to email the DA and let her know and remind her about all 5, 6, 7 of these cases.
Okay, you guys are right. You're the winner. The one that said it was 175,000 for each count. So basically, it was reduced by 100,000, right? No. 175 on each count. It was 200 each count, so it got reduced by 100,000. No, wait a minute. Let me redo this. 175 on each count. 175. He got 4 counts, right? 4 counts. So yeah, so instead of an $800,000 bond, he has a $700,000 bond. That was just like not doing nothing. Shoot. And then he still has, again, this is the child depiction picture case. He still has a no bond on the case of which he is accused of RA and assault charges. And then he also, apparently there is a warrant out in McDowell County. We heard about Henry County. I didn't know about that county. So apparently there's a hold for some type of warrant from 2019. No, you said he still has 2 other cases. No, he still has 6 other cases. This was just one case. He has, so she's representing him on 5 of his cases, and Carl Lewis is representing him on 2. So that answers some questions as well, because people were asking, like, is she representing him on all the cases? So it sounds like she's representing him on his newer cases that happened in like July, and he may have the same lawyer that he had before for those couple of cases that he got. He probably had all 4 of them at first, but remember 2 of them got nolle pas, meaning that the prosecutor declined to prosecute. So they dismissed the charges. Yes, cases are different than counts. Yeah, she has 5 cases. Carl Lewis has 2. There are various counts within those cases. So on this case that we just talked about, which is the child depiction picture case, there are 4 counts. So he just got 175,000 per count. So she just reduced all of them by 25,000. That was it. So it was 100,000 total reduction. And then she also said, which I think is good, that she was going to contact the prosecutor's office to see what's going on with all these other counts, because he's been before her several times, before Judge Manning, and none of these cases have been indicted yet. He hasn't gotten an indictment on any of these cases. So I guess she's going to try to see what's going on, why there hasn't been an indictment. It's larceny. Yeah, there were larceny cases. Shelby says, so that's $70K he needs. That's if he qualifies for the 10% program that they have in Fulton County, or if it's 10%. I don't know. You have to, when last time I looked at the bond, it was cash or surety last time that I looked at the bond sheet. So she'll post the bond sheet, and I'll post it probably in the membership when I get it. Thank you, Brandon Burke, for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Said, at what point does what the state is doing to him become malicious prosecution? Well, they ain't prosecuting. They haven't even done anything. They haven't done anything. If some of these cases get dropped, or let's just argue all of them almost get dropped. Well, and maybe it was a case that he could have did a year in or whatever, like depending on what the years are, he may try to sue or something. I don't know. because malicious prosecution is actually a federal civil claim and a state civil claim. In federal court, it's called a 1983 case when you go after civil rights such as that. I do those. But yeah. Rhonda says, so he got a lower bond. Can he get out? No, he still does not have a bond on one of his counts. I mean, not on one of his counts, on one of his cases, because he has 4 counts on that cases too. Those are the ones alleging essay and those types of cases. Tony said, what type of advice would I give Nesto? Keep your head up. Keep your head up. That'll be my advice. Oh yeah, and that's another thing, guys. Remember I was telling you guys about Fulton County, and people were arguing with me and saying, no, he can't live in Fulton County. And I'm like, no, I read the bond. The bond condition says he has to live in Fulton County. So now all of a sudden he's saying he has an address in Fulton County where if he gets out, he can go to Fulton County. He has an address currently of someone in Fulton County. For all this time, he was telling Shirley, you have to find a location outside of Fulton because I can't live in Fulton County. Y'all remember I caught that on one of those lives we did? You said, what was the point then? Well, 5-star. What had happened was when she filed this motion, she filed it at the same time. It was literally the same day that she filed the other motion requesting to get a bond on the RAPE case. So they were filed at the same time. She was trying to get this reduced and she was trying to get bond on the other one. So if she could have got bond on the other one, then he would have bonds on all of his charges and then perhaps he can get out. So she had already filed them. So what do you do? Because they didn't give it in the other case, you like, oh, let me take this back. Ain't no sense of doing a reduction. Because eventually she's going to go before the judge again. And she's going to ask for she's going to ask for a bond again after a certain amount of time on the bond where he didn't get bond. But honestly, I didn't learn anything new. I didn't see anything that was new that she did from the last one. I thought she looked at my video and was like, let me step my game up. Because I would. If somebody was talking about me in a video, I would have been like, I would have knew Ernesto. I think I know him better. Shoot. Just doing these videos and these lives. I would have stepped my game up and I'd have been fighting. Like, listen, I would have proved all y'all wrong that I was a good court appointed attorney. But she got on there. She in the car. I mean, she like, I believe he does have a place in Fulton County. Mr. Williams, you got a place to stay? Yeah, absolutely. She was the public defender. Yeah. You said she's on her break. Oh. You said what time? So I have the live schedule for 6:30 for R. Kelly and Tasha K. R. Kelly has sued Tasha K. I have the lawsuit. You know how your girl do it. So at 6:30, I need all 1,800 of y'all to meet me back here so that we can discuss this lawsuit against Tasha K. The United States of America. They sued let me see how many people in the United States of America. Let me see how many people we got now. And what's the population in the United States? Let's Google it. Population in the United States. Oh, my battery dying. 300 as of 2021 is 331.9 million people. R. Kelly has sued 331.9 million people. He has filed a lawsuit against the United States of America. He don't care. He's like, whatever. And he sued the DOJ. Well, was it the DOJ? I know he sued like some individual corrections officers at the facility. And he sued Latasha Transrena Kibi as well. He sued Tasha K. And it's a 25-page document, so I know I'm gonna have to go eat a little bit or something before I come back, and we gonna talk about that lawsuit. You said no, he just so. When you say the United States of America, though, you're like, that's just my thought. I'm like, dang, you suing all us, R. Kelly? We United States citizens, you suing all of us? We all getting sued. We all get sued. Okay. Yep. If y'all want me to cover anything, my email is in the description box. I don't have a problem, but I don't have time to go after everything. Usually I can go get the documents if I know exactly where it's at or what court it's in and all of that. But if you guys really want me to cover something and you guys are going to come over here and support, just make sure you email me or DM me on Instagram so that give me a little bit of background so I'm not starting from scratch. So you said I ain't had nothing to do with that, Robert tripping. He mad at all us. That's all I'm saying. Dr. Carissa said I was so tickled. I said, no, sir, that just means it's federal. You said that includes all 1,800 of it. He said the United States of America. Dang, I'm like, me too, Ira Kelly. Dang. All right, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Your girl gonna go down in history as being next to Nesto on the Zoom. That's what happened when you decide to click on in at 5 o'clock. I should have clicked in when Sylvia did, probably 15 minutes early or something, so she could have been at the bottom. I would have been at the bottom, but I had to be next to Nesto on the screen. I'm like, y'all can't move me, but it's cool. But anyway, I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. I'm gonna do a code exit. Nothing fancy. Just make sure you hit the like and hit the subscribe and be back here at 6:30. Okay, everybody. I want all y'all come back at 6:30 for your girl support. I'll talk to you guys later.